This is the picture of the marshes where Daddy grew up. We have these canoes and the reeds all over the place and wildlife. It gives me a warm feeling of peace and tranquility. So much isolated from the outside world, you know. I don't know if the next generations after us enjoyed that peacefulness, because, you know, after us, it's a wartime. I didn't know how bad it was in 1976 when I decided to go to art school in Florence, Italy. And then there is no way that my family support me in Italy, so I decided to work. And I took to the street, I bought an easel and went there, did portraits and caricatures. 78, I got a call from Dad that says that he's been harassed and he wanted me back. It seemed then to me it was like the whole country was occupied. So you are always on a suspicious status until you clear yourself. From corner to corner, from street to street, from checkpoint to checkpoint. And then I was called for the army. In 1979, the Iran-Iraq war broke out. The years of the war this is the hardest that hit me, because I wasn't sure how the country will get out of Iran war. They transferred me to Basra anyway, and I was just continue doing calligraphy also, whatever Saddam says, you know, and these banners. The people come to me because they wanted, for example, a pass to go. And most of these are considered traitors or unpatriotic or so forth, because they missed their bus to go to the home, or they go to report to the front. So I had to find the right pens and pencils to fake my writings exactly as the typewriter. For your information, there is no typewriter in Iraq that you can use freely. There is no computer, there is no fax machine unless you are part of the system. I have to write the right ink, write everything on paper. So when they see it, it's a printing. I was in a very dangerous situation because I couldn't stop helping others who need help. I was very depressed. I was very nervous. I've been helping people. If I get caught of my fingerprint on those papers, I will be executed in no time. I was hoping today, tomorrow, next week, next month, the war will end. There's no end. There's no end to the war, especially when you take a leave like me and going from Diwania to Nasariya, the train go by and you see the boxes of support made in USA for Saddam. In July 86, I decided to leave. And I was carrying this very small bag. It's just a shirt, pants, one pair of underwear, documents hidden in a plastic compartment with a hard cardboard underneath, and one paper and my pass. Go from checkpoint to checkpoint. About 180 checkpoints all the way up to the border in Kurdistan. Went to the house of my friend Ali and spent the evening there. At 5 o'clock they woke me up and put me on a grocery truck. They gave me a turban and I look Kurdish, and they just told me, fall asleep, don't talk. Snore if you want. The army police looked in and I looked just, similar in expression. Say, go, 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 go. I went to the Kurdistan liberated area. An Iraqi merchant sponsored me to work on human rights issues. I did the oil paintings of the methods of torture in prisons of Iraq, sponsored by the International Organization of Human Rights in Iraq. And I did posters, 10 posters to go with it. I didn't sign all this work. Nobody dared to portray Saddam that harsh. It was very risky to stay. I didn't even stay for the opening. We decided to have a plan that we go into the University of Zahedan on the border with Pakistan. The last checkpoints on the Iranian side, there was a Kalashnikov pointing to that road. When I could see the bullets going over our heads, we were on the body of the truck, and we hid, behind each other. and there was a real bullet coming up and hits the rocks behind us. So we stopped. And then, so what do you want? What are you doing here? We thought you were drug dealers. What do you do? I said, I'm a teacher. What do you do? I'm an engineer. What I said, what do I want to tell people if we get killed? After 2 years of working here and also doing translations and interpretation for the United Nations, UNHCR in Islamabad, I was told that it's time for me to be relocated, and where would I like to go? And so, where do you have friends? I said, in Minneapolis. I said, this is where you're going. And she had an apartment in North Minneapolis, and I kind of a very unpleasant situation because I used to hear shotguns at night in North Minneapolis, and that was made nightmare worse because of the flashbacks I had that lasted for about 5 to 6 years. Since I met Stephanie in 1994, I found a lot of support emotionally. I have a wonderful life here, and I have a wonderful wife and a beautiful son, and I have a job, I have a house, I have a lot of friends around here. But it seems like just somebody who were put to adoption and want to know why. Up to now, it feels like I was uprooted. When I visited home for the first time last December, I think I opened a can of worms because I've been suppressing all these feelings for so long to survive. The feel of loss is so great. For all these years, for 35 years in the history of a nation, and all the resources you can imagine has gone to waste with the support of our good friends around the world. They cheered the madness of Saddam. It's like somebody goes back to the crime scene, you know. I went back to check on what's the casualties. You go to Nasariya, it's a dump. The mentality of the people changed completely. They're very tired emotionally, beat up, beat down. I really felt very sad how our kitchen looked like. It's like a refugee camp tools, and I wanted to take dishes, for them. It's okay with them because I think it was going down gradually. It didn't go from a middle class. All of us teachers, and my dad is retired, and we live in a good life. We have a good house, and we're all college graduate. Do you know that Iraq lost 10 million palm trees? That is, at least each of them is 100 years old. How do you replace that? And I look at the faces of my friends from high school. They look like 60 years old. Look, I recognize their eyes. They were Joe in a big hole and that same smile. I hug them and see just the bones sticking out. I said, his name is Alwan. I said, Alwan, what happened? He said, you left, but you thought good when you thought was bad when you left. Look at it now. He said, we were through the mill 100 times after you. I wasn't thinking of leaving Iraq. I went to be an artist, and I studied art, and I want to go back home and have fun. I want to, always in my mind, that I would go back to build a home in the middle of the marshes. And I have a sun studio, and I have, they have the ducks and the fish and the rice all over me. Smells, hit your head, and once you get into Murshid, the basmati rice all over the place. And the childhood I have was wonderful. Beautiful memories. I started sketching all this stuff because I think I'm losing it in a way, or I just, because I can paint. I think I should be able to do that, just to show who I am and where I came from. Zach told them I have 1,000 cousins. He probably does. I have 38 immediate cousins. And I wish that one day we would be able to go there. Show my son one day. I take him back to those pictures.